Hi, this is Jed Wonderly with the Utah Sports Report, and this is episode 11. Wow, I'm getting up there. All righty, just having a little fun with y'all. Okay, so we've got a bit to cover this week. In this episode, we are going to go over the kind of a recap of this last week's game where we kind of handily defeated UCLA, although sometimes our defense had a tough time getting off the field and it didn't always feel like we were in complete control. And then, of course, we'll talk about the upcoming game against Stanford in a short week, and that is also at Stanford, which makes our week just a little shorter because we also have to travel. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do that right after this.
And they'll run it, Jordan! Ty Jordan! See you later! Touchdown, Utah!
4 seconds, 3 seconds. Back to Van Dyke, deep three up. And good! It's good!
They just need this to finish their best beam rotation of the year. And look at Gordon, says, get on your feet.
Alrighty, and we are back. Okay, let's talk about that UCLA game. First of all, I love seeing Ty and Aaron's family come up and continuing to be part of the Utah family, and they were up this week. I hope they come up at every home game, but they were up this week because the number 22 was retired, and that was a heck of a ceremony. Loved that. We honored them twice. Once with the retiring of the jersey after the first quarter, and again after the third quarter with the moment of loudness, and the ensuing play to start each of the quarters, the second and the fourth quarter respectively. We got touchdowns on them. We also scored 44 points, which is a rather odd number for a football score. We had 6 touchdowns with regular extra points and a safety. Oddly enough, 44 divided by 2, the two players, Aaron and Ty, is 22. Oh, that's their number. Lots of coincidences there. I honestly think they were there, and certainly in spirit, and the team feels that way, and I think most of the stadium felt that way. I mean, it was amazing, and if you get a chance to go to a game, highly recommend it. Also, talking about going to a game, I'm going to give a little shout out to Utah basketball. The Craig Smith era starts on Thursday. And that's just an exhibition game, but it's free, so anybody can go. And I'm definitely going to be there because I want to get my first look at the team. And I'm also a season ticket holder for basketball, so you better believe that we're going to do, and there will be some overlap. So there's going to be a few weeks where there's probably going to be a lot more video content, and I'm not going to actually get much of my regular job done, unless I'm working on your loan. Because this is sponsored by Noble Home Loans, and I want you to know that if I'm working on one of your loans, I'm going to be working on it, and it's not going to suffer just because I'm doing all this great Utah content. And speaking of great content, please like and subscribe and comment. I also definitely want to hear your thoughts on the things that we discuss, and if I'm missing something, maybe I'm missing something that you wanted to discuss, comment on that too. But so we're going to be doing some content on Utah basketball, and usually there's 2 games a week with that. So we're going to have a fair amount of content there. And I love gymnastics, and I'm a gymnastics season ticket holder, and so we're going to have content for that as well. But enough of that. Let's get back to it. So, Utah against UCLA. How did that game go? We, first of all, let's talk about the very first thing that happened with regard to that game. We won the toss. Woohoo! But what usually happens when we win the toss? we usually elect to go on defense because we want to, kind of assert ourselves on the defensive side of the ball. But we're not that great relative to our standards in defense this year. So, surprise, we elected to go on offense and see what we could do to get us started with a score. Well, Cam Rising marched the team 75 yards down the field and scored. In fact, we did that the first 3 possessions we had the ball. The 4th possession, we also scored a touchdown, but that was on a short field. So we started off with 28 straight points out of 4 possessions. That was incredible. I mean, our offense, just to give you a little bit of info and stats as to how well we've been doing, that's 4 games in a row where we've accumulated 455 yards or more. During that time, we are averaging 38.75 points per game. And we're also averaging, giving up a little bit higher than our season average. We're giving up 38.25 points per game. We averaged 225.3 passing yards and 191.3 rushing yards per game. So a very balanced attack. I think, of course, that it was a little, I don't want to say unbalanced, but it was definitely skewed toward the run against UCLA, which was amazing because UCLA was only giving up an average of about 94 and change yards per game. We rushed for 290 yards against them. That's fantastic. I mean, our O-line, I was looking at the PFF numbers this morning, and our O-line graded out by far better than they've done at all the rest of the season. So kudos to them. Nick Ford won O-line Offensive Lineman of the Week, and Tavion Thomas with 24 rushes, 160 yards, and 4 touchdowns, tying a single game record for Utah. He won Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week. So excellent stuff. I'll also note that Cam Rising has a QBR of 81.7, which is fantastic. So, let's see, what else did we do? So Kyle acknowledged that when asked about the, choosing to receive after winning the toss, he said, well, he always thinks that your strongest unit should be on the field first, and right now the strongest unit is offense. The other thing he said was that because Lloyd was out, he thought that maybe if we were on offense first, just depending on how the possessions went, that maybe offense could be on the field more in the first half, and that would mean that Lloyd was missing less time, and so less time that the defense needed to kind of pick up the slack for not having him. So that's a good thing as well. Okay, other than that, let's see. UCLA is kind of out of the conference race at this point. Utah is firmly in control. And before we get on to talking about the upcoming Stanford game, I'll leave you with this.
By TD percentage, and that's not very good either. Thomas gets the carry left side. Thomas inside, touchdown Utah. What a first drive for the Utes in the last calendar year. And Utah just retired the number 22, first number retired in the history of this program. And on the very first play after doing that, Tavion Thomas into the end zone for a Utah touchdown. Gee, this part of the field was just totally load the line of scrimmage. Dare Utah to throw the ball, and it worked. Rising throws back across his body, touchdown.
Almost full circle.
Thomas in the backfield, gets the ball, huge block in the backfield. Thomas, touchdown. Another tribute to those 2 young men. The Utah Utes start the 4th quarter inside the 15. Rising, touchdown.
Clemson, Florida State game. There were a lot of interested people who were not happy with the way it ended.
From the end zone, a sack and a safety. Thomas straight ahead, and Tavion Thomas, touchdown Utah. for him tonight.
Wow.
All righty. I hope you enjoyed that. I always enjoy watching stuff like that. That's a good thing. I came home from that game against UCLA and immediately went to look at all the stats. The next morning after I got home from church, I watched the first half of the game. Then I had a few things I needed to do, and then later that night I watched the second half of the game. So, and then of course highlights. Always got to get my dose of highlights when we win. I try not to watch much of anything when we lose. So Utah versus Stanford. First of all, we just found out today, I believe it was today, that their starting quarterback, Tanner McKee, 6'6", 228 pounds, big kid, strong arm. He may not play on Friday. He's questionable right now. He's a freshman, but he's a return missionary, so he's a little older and more physically mature. And like I said, he's got a really strong arm. So it'll be interesting to see if he plays or not on Friday. I always, as you know, you've heard me say this before, if you've watched the videos, I like to beat teams at their best so that there's no excuses. That said, it is football, and every team has their injuries. They're missing players, or players are dinged up and can't play at their full potential and all that kind of stuff. So we have our issues too, but it is what it is. Stanford has typically been somewhat of a Utah-style team where they rely a lot on their run game, and they've usually had a featured back, oftentimes a very elite featured back. Not, again, unlike Utah. And in this year, it's kind of a different story. They're only averaging 91.9 yards a game on the ground and about 249 yards through the air. So about 341 yards a game is what they're averaging on offense. So not a lot of offense. And they're only averaging about 24 points a game and giving up about 27 points a game. They've had a couple of decent wins. They beat USC at USC. I think they were the first team to do that, and then USC lost 2 more games in a row at home before finally beating Arizona this last Saturday in a relatively close game. It was a 1-touchdown game. So they also beat Oregon in an overtime game. So they have that, but then they've also had some really kind of questionable losses. I mean, Washington's having a big time down year, and they just lost to them 20-13. They lost to Washington State 34-31. They have lost to both UCLA at home 35-24, and they've lost to Arizona State at ASU 28-10. So it's a weird year for Stanford, because they have some quality wins, or at least one that looked like a quality win was USC, not as quality as we thought, but certainly a quality win against Oregon. And now they also have some scratch your head losses. So it'll be interesting to see what Stanford team we get. Regardless, I hope we just take control, and I hope we are at our best and we're clicking and go for another 455 yards plus and another 39-ish points per game. I hope we're in the 40s again. That would be great. Cam and some of the other offensive players after the game were asked about, hey, is this what you envisioned your offense could be? And to a man, they all said that while they like what they're doing right now, they all think that there's still a fair amount of improvement that they could have, and they're excited to see what the offense can be when they clean up a few things and when they put everything together and play a full 60 minutes of very good offensive football. I think they could be, easily, 550 yards plus in a really good game, and 50 plus points in that game. That'd be a fun game to see. I don't know if they're going to do that against Stanford, but hopefully sometime maybe against Oregon. Yeah, let's go for that. So anyway, there you have it. I really think that Utah's starting to put things together. I don't care that they're on the road. I think they UCLA beat them on the road. I think we can go in there and take care of business. I think we have a lot to play for, a lot more than Stanford does at this point. And I think we're going to go in and I think we're going to handle business. We started off, I think the opening line was 6.5. At least that's the first line that I saw. We're now up to 7.5 points, which means on a neutral field, it would be 10.5 points, and at our place it would be 13.5 points. So 7.5 points at a away field is a pretty nice number. I'd like to see, I'm always a 2-score kind of guy. I'd like to see us win by at least 2 solid scores, 14, 15, 16 points. And so I'm going to call, let's see, I want to see something here. Okay, the most points that Stanford has scored is 42 against USC. And then 41 against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt sucks. So I'm going to say that, let's see, the most they've given up on defense is, 35 points to UCLA. So I'm going to say we outdo UCLA. I'm going to say we get into the 40s. I'm going to say we're going to score at least 42 points. Be nice to see our field goal kickers get on track and kick a field goal, but I'm going to say we score 42. I'm going to say we give up no more than 24, and I'm going to say that it's going to be more like 17 or 20. That's my guess. It's semi-educated at best. As far as the rest of the conference, Cal is at Arizona. Cal's been playing a fair bit better lately, and I'm going to say Cal takes care of business at Arizona and does it somewhat handily. They are favored by 12. Oregon State at Colorado. I'm going to say Oregon State's a little upset. They come out with a little fire. I'm going to say they take care of business. They're favored by 10.5. I'm going to say they take care of business over Colorado. I'm going to say they get back up into the 30s, 35, 38 to maybe give up 21 or 28 to Colorado. Oregon at Washington. Oregon's only favored by 6.5. Washington is now 4-4 for the season, so they don't have a losing record. And in the Pac-12, they are 3-2. So it'll be interesting to see if Washington continues to improve and can hold it close to Oregon. Oregon is ranked 7th. I hope that Oregon has a solid win because I want them to get some style points. I want them to be as highly ranked as possible when we play them. And then, of course, I want us to win. But there's that. And USC at Arizona State. Because we need a combination of either 3 wins by us, 3 losses by Arizona State, or, a win and 2 losses, whatever. I think also UCLA might need to lose one more game just to be completely out of it, but with a win from us as well. But because of that little formula, I want USC to go down and upset Arizona State. And considering the fact that Arizona State just got it handed to them for the most part against Washington State at home, I think USC has a chance. They're 4-4 and 3-2 as well. No, they're 3-3. Yeah, they're 3-3 in the pack. So they're 500 all around, and I'm going to say that I'm rooting for USC to pull off that upset over Arizona State. There you have it. Appreciate you watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. And if you need help, you're a friend, or family, or whatever needs help with the mortgage, my contact information will be below. And go Utes. Kick some Stanford Cardinal butt. Yeah, let's go.